the remuneration of incentives. What will you do? What will you award them at the end of this time?
Sawa. Naona watu mnaruka nje ya sheria, mnauliza maswali, tutajibu tu tukiendelea sheria. Wanangojea proceed under section part 2 as per the people who are last week part 3 you prepare. Shall I proceed?
There was one contribution to the local one about security to the customer service. That actually the practice all over it has been adopted by this particular service, where somebody has to be a senior of another, either through rank, age, or the day of appointment. So that is actually important. And then the second question was about the credentials of the county director of enforcement. This is actually a law. You cannot anchor the qualifications of a person in law. You cannot do that. So this one will be revised. It will be revised by the service board from time and again and publicized when they require someone to occupy this particular position. So that is why it is not actually in this particular law. It will also be in the regulations, just guiding principles within the county regulations, which will accompany this particular document in its implementation or operationalization. Another question was about, somebody said they hadn't seen regional balance. Regional balance is a question of so many other factors. And some of the factors that are these people really willing when you have been recruited? How many fall out? You cannot continue recruiting when people have fallen out, and yet which have may fall out through a training, or somebody has fallen out through a shortlisted list. So some of these things are actually the things that are forcing people to have lesser people from other regions. But your MCS here have participated in the recruitment of the servicemen and women, and you know how it normally goes. Or you don't apply, you don't come up for recruitment. So again, you will be disadvantaged as a region. Another one was the code of conduct. Wasikubuli na wewe usiwabuli. That is the law of the jungle as it may apply. If you bully me, I will take action because I'm also protected by the Constitution of Kenya. If you bully them, they are also equally protected by the same Constitution. So you can take on me, I take on you, depending on how much of the law I know or how much I want to take you on. So there are those who have come in contact, service requests behind there. You have come in contact with such situations, and you know how people have also handled you. So it is only for people to be moderate, to understand the law, and just do that which the law requires you to do. Play your bit and let another person play their bit, because all of you are all protected within the law.
Then you put in place something to do like IPOA to protect them.
What is this county?
This is a county, by the way, and we cannot matter security. That now becomes under personal security, whereby even if whether I am an enforcement officer or not, security is not a God function.
Yes.
We are only dealing with enforcement to enforce county laws. Now, mtu akitumia county law kukunyanyasa wewe, you take up on the national law which protects you. So they are well trained, and if they are not well trained, they will go for further trainings. They will be equipped with this particular information on how to handle themselves as they enforce the county law.
Yeah. Before we proceed on regional balance, I was suggesting that we have board administrators, unit administrators to use during recruitment of this service enforcement officers, rather than you at the headquarters or county level to do that. So that when before it comes a bill, you have to consider that and ensure that it is clear and it is okay for each and everybody.
Thank you. Hiyo mambo ya muhimu sana. Like what you normally do, recruitment, every award is given and as loss. For example, the last allocation was every award was to take 2 in every award. So if every award takes 2, that's 120. That's if you balance enough. That's what we want to normally do. Proceed.
Empowerment of the body, empowerment of the service officers. Empowerment of the service officers. Can they undergo training to further their studies, or can they be awarded for exemplary work performed? So once they have been absorbed within the county, there is a program known as the government funded KDSSP. And these particular funds go towards the training of staff and empowerment through training actually. So within that department, it's upon their head and upon the HR of the county to choose which people to go for these trainings. So they can access this. But they again can take up on the county loans, which are also there to go for further trainings. Hii najibu tu lakini haiko ndani ya sheria. Itakuwa kwa hizo vitu zingine tunaita guidelines. Recruitment made through CVs or FOIA. Will you be recruited on the strength of your CVs or the physical appearance and ability? Vile tu walikuwa recruited. I think they went through both. Utaleta makaratasi yako, you cannot be given to man a station and you cannot speak or express yourself, read a document, itakuwa ni ngumu zaidi. So mpaka ukue wande uko eligible kimasomo. Sio wewe ni mtu ambaye utararua karatasi because you don't know or you don't even understand the structure. So education becomes key, and then physical ability also becomes another key. So they have to go through similar trainings as such. Terms of employment of enforcement officers and awards. Hii mambo ya awards, by the way, haiwezi kuwa ndani ya sheria. Terms of employment, again, they can never be here. They have their individual letters which state their terms and conditions. So if you anchor this thing within law, unamaanisha county forever kutokea saa hii mpaka mwisho wa dunia itakuwa inafuatilia tu vile mliweka kwa sheria. Haitakuwa ati the county can change anything anywhere. If they have to do any changes, it calls for an amendment of the act. Tunaelewana? Sawa sawa. Any question within that section? Because we are closing the section to go to another one. Yes?
Madam, I'm raising to point out something which I feel is an omission. You will have to correct me if I'm wrong. In this booklet, we have county public service board. It has been defined. I've also heard of county assembly public service board. That one is not defined in this booklet. It means adopt as we move forward. Can we also find a space and have the definition of county assembly public service?
That one is okay. Nataka nishukuru mwenzangu amejibu maswali sawa sawa. Hiyo maswala tumesema trainings, maswala ya terms of service. Kuna sheria ambazo tulipitisha hapa. I think tuliuliza hakuwa tulipitisha hapa sheria ambayo inaitwa the training manual. Training manuals inaangalia yale maswala ya trainings ya wafanyakazi wote wa county, including even these servicemen and women. Kuna also sheria tuliyoitwa human resource manuals. Human resource inaangalia those qualifications. Hizo mmesema mambo ya mshahara, the terms of employment, everything, return and benefits zote ziko kwa human resource manuals. So hizo tulizopitisha, hii ni sheria tu ya kuangalia the organization structure, functions, powers the servicemen and women have in this county. But these other laws takes the interest of trainings and and all the terms you said. This will be petition happen in the last assembly. So we need to move very fast. Tuende kwa that's what you say? We want to move very fast. We're going to go section 3, part 3. That's part 3. Inaanzia from section 8. From section 8 to section 15. Kama uko na swali, proceed.
So she's always seeing many people from town wakifanya biashara, mostly the deaf. Some people kuja ku-approach them wanafanya biashara, kuongea na communicate aje because they don't know the same language. Same time wanabeba vitu zao, pia hakuna interpreter wa communicate with them. So if you want to say those things, better mnaongea aje kwanza, better mkuje na interpreter before we explain clearly about everything. Many people pale deaf wana suffer because of the same. So yajua anafanya kazi aje, anaendelea aje. So maybe you can show if same the government, some deaf actions zao wanafanya iko sawa, they have even the license. So wanaweza saidia aje time kanjua wamekuja, time wanataka kucommunicate if hakuna interpreter. Same wanaweza funza maybe sign language to these enforcement officers. Thank you.
Asante sana kwa that concern. Nataka umujibu. Kuna sheria kudhibitisha. Je, sheria ya kwamba county yetu iandike watu ambao wanasaidia watu kama hao. So mimi kama mwenyekiti nafuatilia kuhakikisha kwamba county imeandika wale watu walikuwa wamepitisha wasaidie watoto wetu ambao wako na shida kama hizo, pia waelewe ni vitu gani ambazo county inataka ifanye ama inatakana kutoka kwao. And then the deaf and disabilities, they don't pay for licenses. So inafaa pia kuna mkubwa hapa wa enforcement officers will follow up na yeye na sisi public service tuhakikisha kwamba pia wanapewa mkalimani wa sign languages ili tusaidie kuhakikisha kwamba vitu kama hizo zikiwa huko nje wanaweza asiliana kwa njia ya urahisi. Can you proceed? Sasa hapa hii laini mmefurahi, sio? Thank you. Hiyo laini, any other question?
Thank you.
Yes.
Just Odhiambo from Itenje Ward, Mias West. Mine is just on the power of entry by authorized officer. Number 12, subsection A, at all reasonable times enter upon any premise. Wanamaanisha wakati hao wanaenda kwa premise, kuangalia labda kuna shida, wawe na uwezo wa wapewe ile warrant ama kuwe na warrant ya kuonyesha kwamba they are authorized to do that or they have been directed to do that. So your kitu ya warrant should be featured here. Warrant of arrest or warrant, the name that you will use at county level.
Honorable Tomia will check those questions. Kindly prepare for them.
Such warrants, sorry.
You're saying such warrants? Let us listen from our enforcement officers there.
Thank you very much. My name is William Lama, Inspector. My question goes to Section 3, 33 section 12 under power of entry by authorized officer. There is this aspect. I know we understand that the first principle of the law is to protect the law itself. And here, there is an omission of powers of others. Because I don't see where a person has committed an offense, and I've seen we are mentioning size history of whatever, sizing whatever, and this person is fined 50,000. The procedure which we will follow until this person is fined. And my take is, my opinion would be, an enforcement officer shall arrest a person believed to commit unlawful activity and hurt him or hurt the police within reasonable time for rearrest. Thank you. And also the function of the director. We have not seen where the director in that structure where he will report. Thank you.
Thank you. Those questions where the director will report to. But 11A is very clear. Read 11A. It says, Director, the principal advisor to the governor on all enforcement matters. Now we are going to answer there. My colleague.
My names are Leo Konga, enforcement. There we have got the number H, prepare periodic reports on county enforcement service activities. Where does he report? I'm just repeating the same. Hapo mungeliweka report to the governor or report to who? When we come, the county director enforcement shall serve for a period of 3 years. I feel 3 years, or we feel 3 years is very short period. Maybe if it would be 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you. He's saying from 5 to 6, from 3 to 5. We'll have to. I think we'll debate on that one. Members, are we agreeing that we increase from 3 to 5 years? Members, are we agreeing that we give from 3 to 5? And those for the same opinion that says we don't increase, raise up your hand. Sheria inasema ya kwamba is 3 years payable once. Yes. So hatuwezi kwa sheria kusema kama 5 years. Ukifanya kazi nzuri unaongeza 3 years with appointing authority. Na kama unafanya kazi mbaya unaenda nyumbani. Ni kama sisi watu wanasema ende nyumbani wakati imefika nitaenda tu. Wakisema nirudi sindarudi tu. Hivyo ndivyo. Another question? Tukuja hapa mbele. Tushatoka huko. Tuko hapa hii. Huko tushatoka. Proceed.
Majina yangu ni Francis Okumu kutoka Miasu West Sub-County, Miasu Central. Central. Swali langu linakuja kwa
3211G. Ensure discipline and maintain among the members of the County Enforcement Service. But utakuja pata kama sisi wafanyabiashara, unapata ofisa wa county anakuja kwa biashara yako, kwanza ni mlevi na ako kwa uniform. Sijui hiyo inakubalika ama ikubaliki. Alafu ila mnaongeleshana kwa vile ni mlevi, utapata mwelewani. Ndio hiyo maneno mengine mnasema mnaanza kusukumana inapotea. Kwa hiyo tungeomba iwapo ofisa wa kaunti yako kwa duty asiwe mlevi, na akija kwa kazi yangu ni mlevi, ni ripoti wapi? Umesema ati governor, mimi nitapata wapi governor? Governor tangu mimi kama naende miaka 10. Sijai hata nimejaribu kwenda kwa ofisi yake mara 3 sijamfika. Sasa nitapata wapi? Na hii makosa imefanyika, nitakana na report within 24 hours na zinaisha. Tiara hata kama ni mlevi, ulevi umeisha, hiyo kesi itaenda wapi? Kwa hivyo nataka mtupe kama sub-county hiyo ya Mumias, mtupe ofisa wa enforcement akipatikana kwa indiscipline, anaharass mtu, kile kitengo tutaingia na tupate usaidizi within 1 hour, sio hiyo ya kutafutana. Asante.
Thank you. Juzi tulipisha hapa sheria. Juzi na nimesema hapa. Watu walikuwa hapa we had a local ombudsman bill. Ombudsman so complaints office. Mlisema hapa kwamba hiyo ofisi tutateremsha iende kwa sub counties. Na hiyo ofisi inaangalia wafanyikazi wote wa county. Hata kama askari wako ndani. Kama wako na issue na askari wetu wa county, we have an ombudsman office, ofisi ya Oparanya. Pana. Sawa. Patia ndugu yangu tuendelee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Yangu iko on page 8. Sasa naitwa Raja Bondwas kutoka Mumias West. Iko on page 8, number 14, on impounding of assets or properties. I was thinking maybe it would be better if we insert the issue to do with the safety. Safety of the properties that are impounded sometimes are compromised. And I'll give an example in the police station. You'll find maybe a motorbike or a vehicle is taken there, and then when you go and solve the case against that property, you'll find some parts missing. So the safety of the property that has been impounded should be guaranteed.
Asante. We proceed. Tumetoka hapa, tuko hapa sasa. Pacha wewe ndugu yangu huyo. Wewe angalia mkono yangu. Angalia mkono yangu. Huyo. Alafu wale ambao wamepewa list, warudishie list kutengeneza mambo na kuta nyumbani, pesa na ndio transport allowances. As tukiendelea.
Okay, thank you. I will take you to page 8. That is identification of an officer. I think at this point, some officers are not in uniform, and at times they don't have that service identity document. And I've seen this thing has really promoted robbery around that. Kwa sababu kuna wengi wameingia, they are coming there in the name of officers, they're impersonating. So, how can this be managed? Thank you.
Asante. Tumeshatoka hapa, personia hakuna. Twende huko mwisho. Anzia hapa mbele tukienda nyuma.
My name is Philip Odhiambo from near Central Ward, near Sub-County. I want to express an observation or concern. with part 3, section 8C, enforcing compliance with licenses and permits. My observation is that becomes a field for your officers to enforce kangaroo courts in collecting bribery and things like that. I've seen that at our sub-county office in Mumias, when the officers have impounded maybe vehicles, things like that, when they are taken to those places, those offices, their offices become an area whereby for you to be able to get your motorbike or whatever back, I think you have to scratch somebody's back. So it is a concern. Maybe those concerns, you look at it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, kama tumesema the code of conduct, I think huko nyuma, an officer akimsibia, he knows what follows, or she knows what follows. Twende huko mwisho. Huyo kofia huyo.
I'm Haji Care from Nyas West Nyas Central Ward. Number 8F, regulate and control traffic on roads within the county. I think it should be in order if it reads, regulate and control traffic on roads and town centers within the county in collaboration with national security agencies. Because why? We have experienced national officers being harassed by other road users. Kama tu watakuwa tuko barabara peke yao, tafadhali watu wa bodaboda wataumiza officers. Afadhali kama national security agency ikubali for arresting, it will be in order.
Asante. But I think hapa tumeshasema they will do in collaboration with the traffic police. Mpatie bado kusikiza. Wasemaje?
Where you have mentioned collaborate with other government agencies in maintaining law and order.
Yes.
And that is B. And F.
Unajua it is applicable. It's across the board. Haji my football. It's across the board.
My name is Fire Lord from Lurambi. My question goes part 3, section 8, part H, provide security to public and government property. My question goes to these enforcement officers. Okay, suppose a lost property, let's say right here at the market, a property is missing, let's for these people, a property gets lost. How will they carry out the surveillance in order to recover that lost property? And another question 2, but I ensure safety of government employees. So my question also goes to section I, that are they, when they are right on their duties, allowed to use this phonetic language? Because somebody who is handling it, maybe after this enforcement officer may actually discover so and so is right on the duty, let me clear him or her. So are they allowed to use phonetic language for their personal safety?
They are saying repeat, hiyo umewasema hajaelewa. Using what correct language? Umesema Kindly come up very clear.
I, section I, it states ensure safety of county government employees when they are on duty. So my question is, are these enforcement officers allowed to use phonetic language, especially when they are on their duties, to ensure their personal safety?
Oh, wanangu. Kama kunyeka mtawe. Sawa tutajibu hiyo. Proceed.
I'm Boaz from Malaba. On the section of functions and powers, that is page 6, section 3. Any person who disobeys any lawful order given by a member of the enforcement service acting under subsection 1 commits an offense and shall be liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 50,000 shillings. I'd like to say there is a very big vacuum here. Vacuum because between commitment of an offense and prosecution, there is an section of arrest. So I want to propose this. Because the Inspector General has not donated the powers of arrest to the enforcement under the county government, I propose there should be a composition between IG and the county attorney to ensure that under the case study of the 2020 ruling that was taken in Mombasa, when a woman was displaying an advertisement in the public and she was arrested. And the ruling was the county enforcement, by that time was popularly known as Kancho, were not having any powers to arrest. So here I mean, because that aspect of giving the 50,000 shillings, how will it come about if there is no penal code under the Attorney General and the county attorney to ensure that this penal code is having a section in the court of law? So that's my proposal. There should be a clear stipulation of these aspects, that the enforcement can have a discussion with the police so that they can have the OB number so that the police to arrest. So this vacuum should be reduced. So here I propose the discussion, Attorney General, the county attorney, to come up with that penal code in the court of law in case of any economic crime. Thank you.
That's a good observation and contribution. Last, watu wawili hao peke yao.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Constable Calvin Monoko from the band unit. I'm a resident of Mumias West, and I have a concern about the impounded goods. You find that sometimes while on duty discharging our various duties, you get to you impound maybe potatoes, those perishable goods. They will not last. The owner will maybe feel free to come after a week to sort out the issue. And the county doesn't give refrigerators or whatsoever. So how do we go about that? How do we defend ourselves as county enforcement officers in that we are able to tell this person, your mangoes or rather oranges, they got rotten. I got them to the latrine or rather pit. How do we go about that?
Hiyo ndio kazi. Nataka wananchi mjibu hiyo sasa. Wananchi mtajibu hiyo? Maureen. Patia Maureen. Patia Maureen hiyo ni ajibu.
Mtula Maureen from Mumias West. I think that is a jibu hiyo ni rahisi. just desist from arresting or impounding perishable foods. Look for a way of arresting the business person. Why should you impound perishable foods? Now unajua tu hizi viazi kesho zitaoza. Because me as a business person, I'll come after a week and I will demand for my fruits.
Na kwa nini usilipe tu ili vitabu zishikwe? Just pay.
Yeah, at times these people don't give these businessmen time to explain themselves. Unakuja roughly and unabeba hizo vitu. What do you expect? I leave you to go with them. I'll come after a week and demand for them.
Sisi kuna dawa hiyo. Haya nikuambie. Sisi kuna dawa hiyo. Sisi ni wakilishi wa wananchi na pia kuna dawa hiyo. Wakilishi wa wananchi na pia officers. Nafaa mjue hivyo. Na unajua sheria county, kwa sheria national government. The national government says within 24 hours kama chukua vitu zako, then they have powers to dispose them. So work within 24 hours, take your things. Sababu kama ishe itakuwa absent of this law, national law is applicable. So just work hard, ensure within 24 hours, clear with the officers. Particular agreement.
Majina yangu ni Sylvester kutoka Shinyanga. Umechukua vitu ya mteja kama nyanya, imekuwa tu mzuri. Unasema nikuje up to 24 hours nichukue, na pengine umeweka kwa gari imepondeka kama nyanya machungwa yapondeka, utalipia hiyo uharibifu?
Hiyo wamesha note. Nilikuwa nimesema wanawa. Ndio kwa wanawa 30 minutes we are now beyond time. Now I want us to take part 4 and part 5. So 4 and 5 is one page. Alafu napatia mheshimiwa ajibu maswali yote, mheshimiwa Jackie Okanya, number 4, part 4 and part 5. Proceed. Naanzia huku nikirudi huku. Patia ndugu yangu microphone.
Naitwa Luta, natoka Butere. Niko part 5 hapo pa impersonation of an enforcement officer. Wameweka pale mtu ambaye amepatikana kama amefanya impersonation commits an offense and is liable for conviction of not exceeding 50,000 shillings or imprisonment term exceeding 6 months. I think makosa ya kufanya impersonation, makosa kubwa that does not amount 50,000 should be 1 million.
So it's increasing. Ukipatikana unasema una askari wa county, wewe askari wa county 1 million. Mwasemaje hiyo? Mnakubaliana hiyo? Wewe 1 million? Patia microphone achangie kwa hiyo mswada haraka. What do you say about it?
Hii neno ni kuzuia wizi. Kama tunazuia wizi, tuweke fine kubwa ndio watu wasiibe.
Sasa tunakubaliana 1 million? 1 million? So as proposed by one member, supported by the whole public, we increase from 50 to 1 million. Any other issue? Tukuja hapa kama huko hakuna, tukuja hapa. To part 4 and 5. Hapa hakuna swali ama maoni. Hapa kuna mbili tafadhali. Ndio kama kwa hawa wawili hawa. Huyu madam, microphone tafadhali mbio. Huyu madam wako hapa, ndio madam wako hapa. patia wewe madam.
Honorable Sir, nataka kurudi nyuma kidogo. Nataka kupinga hiyo 1 million. Mimi ni Mushosh, nyanya wa kule kijijini. Mtoto wangu alibahatika akapata kazi hapa reinforcement. Kuna hii weather ya baridi, mtoto nimechukua sweta ya mtoto, nimetembea nayo hapo kwa hapa ni center. Wanipate sitafanya makusudi. Wanipata mimi ni Mushosh, sikuwa na any other intention. Sitakuwa sipingi 1 million.
Tumetoka hapo madam.
Hiyo ni sheria, sipingi, lakini wacha ikuwe moderate kidogo.
Tumetoka hapo. Hapo tumeshatoka. We are moving forward. Kuja hapa mbele. Any other contribution from that one? Any other contribution?
Bwana mwenyekiti, naitwa Andy Bisman, kwa wale ambao wamekuja kama mitandao kidogo. Mumias West. Now, part 5, I'm on the first schedule. Under part 5. Now, this information which is under the first schedule is the same information which is also supposed to be.
Order members.
I'm saying the information under schedule number 1 is the same information which is supposed to be under the terms and conditions of service for employees in the county or in any other organization. The question now related to this is that, does the county government of Kakamega have terms and conditions of service for employees? If it is not there, we are walking on a very slippery slope. And the County Public Service Board should move fast to have terms and conditions of service, not only for the enforcement officers, but for every worker.
It is there. It is in the manual. It is the human resource manual.
That's a different thing, Brother Chair.
Thank you. Patia huko nimeshatoka, tuko wawili hapo.
Okay, thank you. I'm Mandela Peter from Navakholo, Bunyala Central Ward. I have an observation on part 5, on page 10, about the ranks for enforcement services members. Those ranks, actually, they don't tie with the ones that are on the schemes of service. So my observation is that, or my request is that, before you sign this one as a bill, compare those ranks and those that are on the schemes of service so that they can be uniform. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll do that. But one of such wawili hapo nyuma.
Thank you. I'm Sergeant Williams of County Headquarters. Part 3, functions and powers of enforcement service. I've gone through it. Sijapata kuona powers of arrest. Now, this is a scenario. I'm manning or patrolling in town. Get 2 people fighting. Will I just separate them and give them go, or what am I supposed to do? Good afternoon. I'm Keith Baraza from County Headquarters. On part 5, we have ranks of enforcement officers. So about this bill, we are talking of enforcement officers, and I'm seeing here we have assistant enforcement officers 3, assistant enforcement officer 2. So can you elaborate who are those enforcement officers? Thank you.
I think this one will be answered by your head is around. Be able to answer all those. Officer 1, officer 2. I'll give you time to do that. Another question? Kindly, these 2 have been racing for long. Give these 2, then we wind up.
Okay, I'm on that scheduled conduct of code of conduct. On page 14, we have this issue of keeping true records.
it was earlier pointed out that you find maybe an officer has taken your motorbike or maybe a vehicle into custody. And when you go to collect, you find that maybe some parts are missing on that motorbike. My question is, how can we recover our properties as they were taken earlier? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hiyo maswali mazuri. My colleague will have to answer.
I'm Hazel from Likuyani. Allow me to go back to impersonation. I'm not satisfied. How does somebody impersonate in your uniform? And the one impersonating in your uniform is the one apprehended, is the one fined. For example, if I'm a thief and I have a police uniform, it's always said the police are the thieves, isn't it? But it is that policeman who has given me the uniform. So who is to be charged? This impersonating person should explain how he got your uniform. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Madam, hujaona kwa TV last year, it was last 2 years ago. A senior officer in Naivasha. A senior officer, hata officer anasema yes sir. Yes sir. Kumbe he was a fake officer. This thing happens. So Mumias West currently clears my secretariat in charge of Mumias West. Mumias East today is my secretariat. I want to give our officer the charge. Ajibu hiyo maswali umeuliza. Nataka nijibu honorable Tonya to wind up. Ajaji anataka to wind up. Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Naomba tuweze kuelewana na nitajibu maswali tatu. Ya kwanza, kwa upande wa schedules, Waranga file ambayo imeandikwa hapo, sorry, kwa hii document yenye imepeana kwa bill imekosea, and we liaise with the county attorney so that ranks zinatakana hii ni kikosi ambacho kuna corporal, sergeant, inspector, superintendent, alafu hizo ndio ranks. Ndio unaona anapigiwa saluti, mwingine anavaa cheo. So hizi zenye zimewekwa sio zile zenye zinatakana ziwekwe, na through the chair hapo tafadhali we are sorry, itaweza kurekebishwa. Cha pili ni upande wa what a colleague mentioned about the link between the office of the AG na office ya county attorney. The ruling that was made was by a law court, but kulingana na sheria subsection 49, hata mwananchi sio hata enforcement, mwananchi tu ukiwa tu hapa ukiwa hapo uko na sheria ya kushika mtu na kufanya nini na hand over kwa mtu ambaye amekosa. Nikiweza kupiga mheshimiwa hapa kofi, nianze kumpiga, hautangoja ati niweze kufanya nini to go and get a warrant ambazo ndio niweze kuja na naendelea kumuumiza. It's always said in law, unazuia makosa, and the powers the arrest ziko in 3 ways. Iko ya warrant, iko ya citizen, na iko sasa ile ya kisheria ya kiaskari ambayo hao askari wanauliza. Ya mwisho ambayo madam aliuliza, na aliuliza na pole pengine hapo kwa simu, ningependa kumjibu. Sasa kwa upande wa impersonation is one way. Impersonation inafanywa
kwa ule mwenye sio askari anajifanya kuwa askari. Hakuna vile raia anaweza kufanya raia mwenye ambaye hana hiyo uwezo anajitumia advantage ya kunyanyasa mwananchi kwa kuimpersonate askari. So vile kulikuwa na mawaidha na tutafuata mawaidha ambayo umepeana kwamba ukifanya ikikuwa 1 million vile mama amesema, hiyo kulingana kwa sheria utakuwa umeiweka juu sana. Hiyo ni kama that's an offense ya robbery ya assault. Pengine muweke pesa ambayo at least sio siwezi suggest but isikuwe juu zaidi na isikuwe tena chini zaidi. Asanteni sana.
Hiyo inazuia wizi.
Asante sana Chair. Hamjamboni wote. Kwa jina ni Jackie Okanya nikitoka Mumias West. Watu wa Mumias uzuri nimefika kama wanaongea. Mumias hoye. Hoye. Sinaona wako na power. Kuna hiyo story ya impersonification iko hapo kwa part 4. And what I've observed, hata kama tungependa ikuwe 1 million, mara nyingi wale wanaipersonify ni nani? Si ni watoto wetu? Haitakuwa mama. So mwenye atabeba hiyo burden ya 1 million ni wewe mama. So ukiweka sheria, jiulize kama ni mtoto wangu ameenda ameipersonify, can I afford $1 million? So put a law yenye unajua ikikupata ni wewe, unaweza lipa, because mara nyingi hata wale wanaipersonify huwa hawaipersonify in bad terms. Unapata ameangalia ameona ako broke. Saizi watu hawana do, wako na fuliza mingi. Si ni kweli? So kama utaweka 1 million na itakuja ikupate wewe, ni hawa watu waheshimiwa utaletea mzigo. So mimi najiangalia nikiwa MP wa Mumias West, ilikuwa imeweka 50,000, I would propose we do something, either we adjust to 100,000, something reasonable. Because huyu mwenye amefanya hii makosa si mnyama, ni mtoto wetu. Tunaelewana? So make it reasonable that tunaweza tukalipa na rectify. Sheria haijavuja kwa ajili ya sheria imeandikwa kwa ajili yetu, sio sisi kwa ajili ya sheria. Tumepatana? So make a law. Ukipatikana kwa nafasi kama hii, umepewa nafasi utengeneze sheria. Tengeneza sheria ambayo ikikuwa ni wewe utafurahia. Tuko pamoja? Usiweke sheria kwa sababu una assume itakula Jackie ambaye ni mheshimiwa. Weka sheria ambayo unajiambia kama ni mimi nitawekwa, natakana nidhulumiwe na hii sheria, nitafurahi. Sawa sawa? That's the first thing. Then the second thing ambayo kuna yule aliongelea kuhusu kama umepata watu wanapigana jinsi utamshika. Kwa code of conduct nimeona kwamba inatakikana behave in a way that iko respectful. But many a times mtakubaliana na mimi, enforcement officers huwa wanakuja na fujo. Si ni kweli? So hiyo fujo ndio inafanya ukipata watu wanapigana hawawezi heshimu hiyo kirauni yako. But ikiwa tutajihandle na heshima, wakati watu wanapigana na wakuone wewe umefika, wataangalia kirauni yako na watatii kwanza. But ukipata wanapigana na wanaendelea, jua wewe mwenyewe haujajihandle na heshima kwa public ili waweze kukuona na waweze kutii. Si hivyo ndivyo inakuwa? So and again, jinsi ofisa amesema, kama yule jamaa ambaye alipota ule msichana Nairobi, si picha ilipigwa na akapatikana baadaye. So there are many a times utakuja useme unaanza kuseparate na wewe ndio uko victim chako. Si ni ukweli si inafanyika hivyo? Unapata watu wanapigana unaingilia na wewe ndio unapigwa. So the best thing now we have cameras. Unapiga picha if it's something that can be traced on keenly, that you can be able to identify this person. Otherwise, ni hayo tu chairman. I think I've been able to answer what I wanted to answer. Na kura inaelekea kufika, if people vote